Hey guys, this is your girl Neo. So I just thought I'd drop you guys this vlog on how to make a 20-liter Umqombothi. I had a number of people DM me wanting to know the measurements, how much to use on each ingredient. So I just thought I'd drop this vlog, since I was busy making Umqombothi just for a smaller thing that I needed to do. So I'm gonna take you guys through that process, and I think this video stemmed from the previous video which I did where I used a big mpongolo, a big drum for that, and I think this will just then be a follow-up of that video in case you want to make a smaller amount of Umqombothi as opposed to a large faki. So yeah guys, stay with me, watch till the end, and I hope you learn a lot. So I'll be using a different method this time compared to the one that I used previously, which doesn't involve making wood fire, and stuff. So this is very quick and easy. You do it using your stove, and brilliant, amazing results. Okay, so watch till the end guys, and don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. All right, and please feel free to share the video. Cheers guys. Okay guys, so you first want to start off by mixing your maize meal. So for this 20-liter I'm going to be using 2.5 kgs of meal. All right, so here I bought a 5 kg, but I'm just gonna use half of that. I'm gonna put that into a bowl and mix it with water. Okay, it can be lukewarm water or cold water, it doesn't really matter at this point. What we're doing is just giving it a nice mix, the same like how you would make soft porridge. First start creating a paste by mixing water in millimil. Then once that mixture is done, you then want to make sure that your water is boiling hot. So I was using a gas stove for this because I believe it's quicker, it's stronger, so from there on you wanna go in, just grab a small container, cup, whatever, small bowl, whatever you want to use, and just take the mixture, put it into the bowl. What you want to be doing while you putting the mixture in there is to constantly be stirring. All right, you want to constantly stir, and why we're stirring constantly is to avoid any lumps from forming. Okay, because you want it to be smooth and like porridge. Pretty much at this point we are cooking porridge. Okay, I'm using a whisk for this because it's not a large amount of porridge that I'm cooking, so it's very easily manageable with the whisk, and it will also help with breaking down the lumps if any form. So that's what I'm doing right now. As you can see, it's not heavy like pap, right? Make sure you don't cook pap guys, because it's gonna mess up this whole thing. It just has to be very light, like soft porridge, pretty much soft porridge, but not too watery as well. Okay, give it some texture a bit, it mustn't be too watery as well. All right, so you'll just constantly keep on stirring. If you like, you can use a wooden spoon, wooden whisk, it's really up to you guys, as long as you can break down the lumps, because we don't want the lumps. As you can see, my stove is nice and hot. You can see it's forming some bubbles there, so which means it's cooking quite nicely, right? So from there on, what you want to do once you're done cooking and your porridge is nicely ripe, you want to then pour it onto a steel bowl. All right, now it's very important that you pour it into a bowl because you want it to cool down. Right, so we're going to leave this overnight. Okay, so at this point, it doesn't have to be a steel bowl, guys. Anything, any dish, it could be a plastic dish or whatever, as long as it's big enough to you know, accommodate your porridge. It works as well. All right, so we're going to leave this overnight and to leave it actually to cool down, like properly, because we want it to be cooled down as much as possible. Okay, so now we're off to day 2 of the process. So no, sorry guys, this is still day 1. Sorry about that. So that's just me lining it up there nicely so that it cools down, you know, for the next day. So on day 2, there we can see our porridge is cooled down now. You'll see there's some skin that is forming there on top, and I also have warm water which I put next to it. So the warm water is in that in those buckets that you see there. So what you see me doing right now is pretty much you know, taking the porridge. You see it's now nicely hard and cooled down, and I'm just crushing it down there, you know, into the bucket, because from here on I'm just going to be you know, adding the rest of the ingredients to complete our process. So what you're seeing me do there is just transferring the porridge onto the 20-liter bucket, which pretty much is the measurement that we want to do. All right. So guys, you want to make sure that you remove the hard skin. Although I see some people would actually include you know, the skin on there as well, but it's really up to you. At the end of the day, I choose to remove it to keep my umqombothi smooth. So once that process is done, what I then do, I just added 1 kg of mtombo. All right, I added 1 kg of mtombo. I'm only going to be using 2 kgs of mtombo for this process. So remember, initially we used 2.5 of millimil, and with that we're going to use 2 kgs of mtombo mila, and then I'm going to use 2 cartoons as well. Okay, just remember those measurements, guys. Is 2 of everything: 2 cartoons, 2 mtombo mila, and 2.5 of millimil. And then I'm just gonna add some water. That's now the warm water, because now remember we need to liquefy our mixture, because right now it's all dry ingredients. Okay, so we need to liquefy our mixture. So we're just gonna go in, guys. You have to go in. You can use a wooden spoon for this. You can use a whisk for this. You just gotta go in, guys. Get your hands dirty. that's the only way you're gonna get best results. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is nicely mixed. As you can see, it's all thick, and I'm trying to reach the bottom to make sure that I don't leave any soft porridge unmixed. Okay, so you wanna constantly add water. It becomes easier as you add water, you know, because then everything starts to float and you're able to reach the bottom as well. So I just added the second pack now of Umqombothi, and I'm gonna pretty much continue mixing it up until everything is nicely liquefied and mixed up together. Okay, so that's the result that we want to get to. It needs to be nicely watery, not very thick. You'll just feel it, guys, as you go along. Make sure to break down all those lumps there. So this is pretty much the result that you want to get to for day 2 after you know, mixing up the porridge and that. So what you would then also go and do is then add your chibuku, cartoon. It doesn't really matter what you guys call it. Okay, it is what it is. So you go ahead and add your cartoon there. So you'll notice now I've got 2 buckets there. The reason why I took, so everything can fit into the 20 liter, but I went and poured half, or well, not half, almost half into that small bucket, just to allow it, you know, some space to breathe, you know, pretty much. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna add cartoon on both of them and give it a nice mix. And once that is done, I'm going to be covering that up and leaving it overnight. So okay, so I don't know, guys, in our tradition, what would normally do once that mixture is done, I would then, you know, burn the Umqombo packaging and put it in there. And while you're burning it in there, pretty much what you're doing is, you know, speaking to your ancestors, you know, letting them know why you're doing the Umqombothi. So look, guys, we are spiritual beings, you know, and from time to time we need to connect with ancestors, and this is really one form of you know, connecting with them. So what you're seeing now is day 3. Okay, so on day 3, what you want to do is a process called hotlotla. This is pretty much where you're now sifting the Umqombothi that you've done, that you left overnight, and separating them tombo with the actual liquid Umqombothi. All right, so that is the result that you're gonna get at the end.